You started a journal in January. It has 4 entries. The last one says, okay, starting for real this time. You have a course you bought 8 months ago. You're still on lesson 3. You have a business idea sitting in your notes app that you haven't opened since spring. You have a book with a bookmark on page 47 that hasn't moved in weeks. And if someone asked you right now, are you a motivated person? You probably wouldn't know what to say. Because you do feel motivated. You feel it all the time. You imagine the future. You make plans. You genuinely want to change. And yet, somehow, nothing sticks. Here's the strange part. The people who struggle with this usually aren't lazy. They're often the most ambitious people in the room. The ones with the biggest dreams. The highest standards. The strongest desire to build a different life. So if motivation isn't missing, why does everything keep falling apart after a few days? This video isn't going to tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. It's not going to give you another productivity system. And it's definitely not going to tell you to just be more disciplined. Because I don't think discipline is the problem. I think something much deeper is happening. Something almost nobody talks about. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere, including in your own life. Picture this. It's a Sunday night. You've just watched someone talk about the thing you've been wanting to do for 2 years. And something clicks. You feel it in your chest, that this time feeling. You can see it. The finished version. The person you'd be on the other side of actually doing it. So you open a new document. You make a plan. You might even tell someone. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, you show up. You're locked in. You feel like yourself, maybe the best version of yourself you've felt in a long time. Then the feeling starts to thin. Not all at once. It doesn't crash. It just slowly gets quieter, like a song fading out before you realized it was ending. One day you're all in. Then you miss a day. Then another. And then one morning you wake up and realize you haven't thought about it in 2 weeks, and the project is just sitting there, unfinished, unchosen, quietly confirming something you were already afraid was true. And that's when the voice starts. You never follow through. Other people can do this. What is wrong with you? That voice. That's what we're actually here to talk about. But before we go any further, I need you to notice something. That voice blamed you. Your character. Your worth. Your discipline. It turned an experience that millions of people have into evidence that something is uniquely, personally broken in you. That's not insight. That's just cruelty wearing the costume of self-awareness. So let's look at what's actually happening. Because the real explanation is stranger, more interesting, and honestly, a little bit of a relief. Here's the thing about your brain. It is not wired to help you finish things. It is wired to keep you alive. And for most of human history, those were the same thing. When you imagine a goal, really see it, feel it, believe in it, your brain releases dopamine. But here's the part that changes everything. The dopamine doesn't come when you achieve the thing. It comes when you picture it. The vision itself is the reward. Your brain, in a very literal sense, has already celebrated before you've done a single thing. This is called anticipatory dopamine. And it feels incredible. It's why Sunday nights feel full of possibility and Monday afternoons feel like a betrayal. Because the moment you start actually doing the work, the messy, slow, unglamorous middle of it, the dopamine drops. The fantasy gets harder to hold. And your brain, which has been running the same operating system since before language existed, starts sending a very clear signal. This doesn't feel good anymore. Find something that does. So you do. You open a new tab. You get inspired by something else. You tell yourself you've evolved past this particular goal and you're following your energy. Maybe. But probably not. Probably, and stay with me here, your brain just found the most elegant exit it could. And it called it losing interest so you wouldn't notice it was actually avoiding something. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. There's the person who starts writing a book, genuinely on fire, and right around chapter 3 when it starts to look like something real, suddenly remembers they should reorganize their entire filing system. Today. Urgently. There's the person who sends out job applications confidently for weeks, until one of them gets to a final round interview, and then they convince themselves the company culture probably wasn't right for them anyway. There's the runner who goes every morning for 22 days straight. Misses one day because of rain. Never goes back. Not because of the missed day, but because the missed day confirmed the thing they'd been waiting to have confirmed about themselves. Notice what all of these have in common. The abandonment doesn't happen at the beginning. It happens right when the thing starts to become real. Right when it could be seen, judged, measured against the version that lived safely inside your head. And that's not a coincidence. Here's the truth that I think most videos skip over. An unfinished thing is safe. An unfinished thing can always still be great, In theory, it can always still become what you imagined. It has potential because it's never been tested. A finished thing has to face the world as it actually is. And somewhere, maybe deep, maybe not that deep, a part of you decided that the gap between what you made and what you hoped it would be was something you couldn't survive. So instead of risking that, your brain taught you to leave before you could find out. That's not laziness. That's self-protection. And for a lot of people, it started young. You brought something to someone and the response wasn't what you needed. Or you were in an environment where being too visible, too ambitious, taking up too much space, came with a price. So you learned to stay in the realm of almost. To be someone with enormous potential and very little proof. Potential can't fail. As long as you're still about to do the thing, you're still safe. The problem is that the danger isn't real anymore. But your nervous system never got the update. Most people try to solve this with motivation. More of it, better versions of it, vision boards, alarms, accountability partners, habit trackers. And look, some of that helps. But it misses the actual problem entirely. You don't have a motivation problem. You have a safety problem. Your brain isn't avoiding the work. It's avoiding the moment after the work, the moment where you put the thing out into the world and wait to find out if it was enough. If you were enough. No 5 a.m. alarm fixes that. No productivity framework touches it. Because the fear doesn't live in your calendar. It lives in your relationship with what it means to be fully seen, and still possibly fall short. So instead of asking how do I stay motivated, try asking this. What do I actually believe will happen if I finish this? Not the surface answer. The real one. Because most people, when they sit with that question honestly, find that finishing feels less like an achievement and more like a verdict. And they've been postponing the verdict for years. So what do you actually do with this? Here's what doesn't work. Forcing yourself through sheer willpower while the fear is still running underneath. That's just white-knuckling. It burns out fast and proves nothing except that you can punish yourself temporarily. Here's what actually helps. And I mean genuinely, not in a have you tried a morning routine way. You shrink the finish line. Not the whole thing. Not the book, the business, the transformation. Just today. Just this session. Just the next 20 minutes of imperfect, quiet, unglamorous continuation. Because staying, even messily, even without the feeling, is a skill. And skills are built through repetition, not inspiration. The goal isn't to feel motivated. The goal is to become someone who continues even when they don't. And you do that one small, unimpressive, deeply unsexy act of follow-through at a time. You already know how to start. That part of you is completely intact. What you're building now is the other thing. The quieter thing. The part that shows up on day 11 when it's not exciting anymore. The part that writes the 5th journal entry not because it feels meaningful, but because you said you would. That's not discipline. That's identity. It's the slow, private process of becoming someone you can trust. And it starts with something embarrassingly small. If you have a journal with 4 entries, open it tonight. Don't flip to a new page. Don't write, okay, starting fresh. Just write something. Anything. 3 sentences about today. About this video. About the thing you've been almost doing for months. The 5th entry doesn't have to be good. Just has to exist. Because that's the whole shift. From someone who almost does things, to someone who does. Not perfectly. Not consistently from day one. But actually, you're not broken. You're just someone who hasn't finished learning how to stay. And you're still here. So that's already something. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.